Podcast, WATP.
Aside from Joey C not helping someone with a serious medical emergency, and aside from the YouTuber who was gunned down streaming while another YouTuber was streaming and gunning him down, the most viral thing that happened recently was Dave Portnoy versus Crack Amico. We have the whole saga to dissect and discuss. The Unnamed Show is the podcast that is hosted by Crack Amico, Dave Portnoy, and Ryan Whitney, a Barstool production. And these guys get on once a week and talk life, politics, sports. It's a guy show. It's guy stuff.
Guy stuff.
You know how that works. Mm-hmm. Well, they got into it because Dave Portnoy had this incident occur at a restaurant that he owns, where you can, when you get bottle service, you can have a little sign show up above your table and write whatever you want on it. And some guy wrote, "Kill the Jews." Oh. And so Dave was not happy about that, kicked him out, and made a pretty big fuss about it. Went online, talked about who the guy was, offered him a trip to Auschwitz to try to change his mind about his stance on things, and changed his mind on that. Well, anyway, so Dave's very sensitive about the plight of the Jews right now. I don't know if you know what's going on in the world, but there's people out to harm them for various reasons. And so he doesn't
what are the
have a good sense
reasons?
of
Do you
humor.
want to explain the reasons, or do we want to
get
into the backstory?
Letting Hamas in on October 7th.
Number 10.
Anyway, I'm kidding. So it starts off, they're talking about making jokes about Jewish people. And for whatever reason, Dave has decided that this is not a free speech issue, even though Dave talks about everything. Dave Portnoy over the years, holy shit, controversial figure, and never apologizes for shit. But this one's hitting close to home, I guess.
His first reaction is to go to, "Hey, Rabbi Portnoy, relax. You made jokes you're saying 20 years ago. Are you out of your mind? Are you that demented?"
Someone on Twitter referred to him as Rabbi Portnoy. That really set him off on this one. And this was a guy that I guess Kirk was going to have on the show to debate with Dave, and Dave was not having that.
Are you that demented of what's going on in the world right now?
I'm fully aware of what's...
You're comparing those two things.
I'm fully aware of what's going on in the world.
You're comparing a joke for 20 years ago with what's going on right now in the world.
No, that's
you
my
can't
point.
see the difference.
My point is,
can you see the difference?
They're words. That's my point.
Okay.
They are words. They are words. No, honestly, a guy on Twitter tweeted...
When does freedom of speech become...
A guy tweeting at you. You asked me the question. A guy
when
tweeted
does freedom of speech impose on freedom of religion?
I find to be harmless. Some guy tweeted you, Rabbi Portnoy.
When does freedom of speech impose on freedom of religion? How many people have to get murdered?
It's a good question.
How many people have to get murdered? Jokes don't kill people. Dave seems to have this very confused. It reminds me of the Netflix protest over Dave Chappelle, where it's like Dave Chappelle is causing trans people to be drug out into the street and murdered. It's like, no. Jokes don't do that. That's not how that works at all. It's not like someone is like, I'm wishy-washy on the Jews. I'm not sure what to think. And then someone makes a really good joke and they're like, oh yeah, we should definitely start a war against those people. That's a pretty good joke. Doesn't make any sense. This is what he's arguing right now with Crack Amico. And Kirk concedes right here that, hey, I am not as passionate about this as you are, obviously. I don't necessarily have a dog in this race, so I understand why you're more passionate about it. And Dave's like not hearing the conversation, is just lashing out at Kirk on this one.
And honestly, I get the issue. I don't get it as well as you do. You're more passionate about it than I am. I understand that.
Oh, I'm sorry. My Jews are getting killed every 3 seconds.
That's not a criticism. That's not a criticism.
You're demented then.
I just said it's not a criticism. I understand why you're sensitive about it. Of course you care about it more than I do.
Kirk,
you care about it more than I do.
Right now, people making Jew jokes is just the same as 15 years ago.
No, but my thing is when you tell people stop making jokes, stop doing this, what does that accomplish?
That's a great question right there. What does that accomplish, telling people not to do something? But it's interesting that Kirk goes, listen, I know I'm not as passionate about this as you are. And all Dave heard was, fuck you, Dave. Yeah. Because he like lashed out at him right back after that. He's like, no, that's not a criticism.
Yeah.
I'm not calling you out.
You're not listening anymore.
Right. But it's also weird that Dave Portnoy thinks that freedom of speech should change based on what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
That's odd.
And how he feels about it.
And how he
That's-
feels about it.
How it affects him, yeah.
Yeah. That's surprising because he's, well, I was going to say level-headed. That's probably not the right word, but he's a pretty rational guy, Dave Portnoy. I'm surprised that he would have that thought process.
It seems to be the common thread among every single person we cover, from street buskers to CEOs of corporations, is this quality.
Yeah. So he goes, what is that going to accomplish? Telling people they can't make jokes. We're going to find out. That's coming up in just a moment. That's a teaser. But, Kirk's whole angle is, listen, man, I wanted to have this guy on that pissed you off on Twitter so you could debate him, so that you could make him look foolish on the show.
What I'm saying is you should have him on here or somebody else like that and fucking fight with them, because then you have a conversation.
That's what this idiot wants.
Dave, these guys that wrote the thing at the bar, fuck the Jews, right?
Yes.
You're going to fucking fly them to Auschwitz. Some guy tweets at you something. You want to fucking... He's not...
Kirk,
you can't come on
it was
for
a bar
5
I
minutes.
owned. It was a bar I owned.
They should have been kicked out. So, but my thing is...
No, it's not just kick out, Kirk. Are you ignoring what's going on in the world
No,
right
I'm
now?
not. What, Dave, what do you want to do with those guys? What do you want to do? What do you want to do with those guys in the bar? Put them in jail for 50 years? Fine. I don't care.
I didn't
They're
say that.
assholes.
You're quite literally changing everything you say, Kirk. If you just want me to kick him out, not mention it, not care that this kid is anti-Semitic, shut up. If you just want me to ignore it,
Don't tell me to shut up. Don't tell me.
Shut the fuck up, you bald fuck.
Okay, go ahead.
How's that?
Oh, it's kill. I'll never recover from that, Dave. Go ahead, continue. I'll never recover.
Well, you're the one who big boss man. Don't tell. I'll tell you work for me.
Okay, go ahead,
You
continue.
little bitch. You work for me.
Sure, you bet. For now,
Oh, you
continue.
don't? For now, quit. I don't care. I'll
Is
save 500 grand.
is this show or not a show? Like, is this a show or not a show? Like, we can't have a conversation?
So as soon as it gets to this point where it's like, you work for me, you're losing the argument.
Oh, yeah.
This reminds me of like Nick Rekieta calling Keanu a dumb bitch over and over and over again. It's just like, okay, you're being very passionate, but you're not really using your words correctly. You're not connecting rational
Your
thoughts.
message is clear. Your approach is a little cloudy.
Yeah, there's not rational thoughts coming out of your mouth when you just start going, you work for me, shut up, fuck you. It's like,
Little bitch.
yeah. So one more clip on here, and then I'll show you what ends up happening. But jokes are not the problem, in my opinion.
You're an idiot.
Okay, continue.
You're literally saying people should be allowed to make Jew jokes, say whatever they want right fucking now. That's
Yes,
what
I
you're
think
saying.
people should be allowed to make jokes.
So how many motherfucking Jews have to be
jokes.
killed before you stop?
It's so weird.
There was a leap there.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Like he's saying it has to do with freedom of religion, and there's a genocide going on based on joke telling.
Kirk, you're killing Jews.
Yeah, well, that's what he's saying. Like the blood is on your hands for allowing these people to make jokes on the show. So it's interesting here because Des Bryant and Jason Whitlock saw this, and so they tweeted at Dave. Here's Des Bryant, who has 3.4 million followers on Twitter, former wide receiver for the Cowboys. He says, at Stool Presidente, you are a bitch for treating your employees like that. Shit is not cool at all. This is what entitled looks like, folks. And this is obviously the meltdown where he's saying, you work for me, shut the fuck up. So Dave responds to this tweet, of course. And Dave posts a video and says, hey, at Des Bryant and Fat Boy Whitlock Jason, here's your poor little helpless Kirky boy. How could Dave be so mean to Kirk? Never gets old making fools out of fools. And he posts this video, and I'll show you what this video shows because it's interesting. A couple days after this back and forth that they had on the Unnamed Show, Kirk Minahan is having it out with his producer, Justin, on the Kirk Minahan Show. And it's an interesting argument that they have.
You won't live a real life. You're a fucking baby. Look, you yelled at me earlier this week, so shut your fucking mouth.
Okay.
You work for me, fat boy.
Correct.
You work for me. So you fuck up like that, and I give you a fucking pass. That's way bigger fucking loyalty than something with Mick or something with your pretend girlfriend or any of that bullshit. So you should look at the real stuff and not the fake stuff. Instead of that, and act like a pouty fucking baby all week. You're a fucking Complete zero to me. You're fucking dead to me. You can sit there and your fat ass in there until you fucking die and act like, oh, Kirk's me. But fuck you. Fuck you. That could have fucked us, and you did it on purpose. I don't agree with you. You're a fucking liar, too. You're a fucking liar.
Not a liar.
You're a fucking liar. You did that on purpose to try and fuck me over. And I still kept you on the fucking job. So you should say thank you every fucking time you look at me. Do you understand me?
Sure.
So what?
Thank you.
Yeah, so shut your fucking mouth.
Okay.
Do you understand me?
Yes.
Okay? I've been taking all week from you for no fucking reason.
Oh, no
None.
reason. No
None.
reason.
Shut your fucking mouth or you'll be fucking fired.
Fire
Shut
me.
your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth.
Fire me then.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Fire me then.
You want to be fired? Would you
Fire
like
me.
that? Would you like that?
No, I do
then
not.
shut the fuck
No,
up.
well, I'm
Then
not
shut
shutting-
the
I'm not-
fuck up.
I'm on
Then
the show,
shut the
so
fuck
fire
up.
me then.
So Dave's response to, hey, Dave, you shouldn't treat employees like that is, yeah, but I was treating this asshole employee like that. He treats his employees like that, so it's all good. I don't know that's the right answer.
A little trickle down.
Yeah, right. I don't know that's the right answer. Like, maybe you've created an environment at your company.
It's called a cycle of abuse.
Now, what's Fat Boy going to do? Goes home.
He goes home, kicks the dog.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
You
None
work
of
for
this
me,
is good for the
motherfucker.
Jews at all. None of this helps.
No, this is not helping out the Jewish people.
I
at all,
don't know
Adam?
for a fact, but it doesn't seem like any of this is. No.
Well, I thought that was a weird response from Dave to be like, don't feel bad for Kirk. He's also a dick, and post that video. But underneath that response from Dave Portnoy, our buddy Royce from Revenge of the Cis, he's been on the show before, and we've done a live show together. He has a nice response on here. He goes, Dave, how are you so dumb that you can't see how this temper tantrum is only going to make things worse for you? Do you know how the internet works? You're not going to be able to do a pizza review now. See the F her in the pussy trend. Michael Angelo, who used to work for Barstool and becomes a part of the story that we're going to see in momentarily, writes, Dave, have you ever heard the expression two wrongs don't make a right? Now, what Royce is saying here is this is a really dumb thing to tell people what they can and cannot joke about, because there'll be people who want to fuck with you who joke about it when they wouldn't have. And enters Crack Amico. Now, Crack Amico is a rapper. We've played him on the show before. He goes pretty hard in the paint against Bert Kreischer, and he calls out a lot of people. He does a lot of things with Gas Digital and Skankfest and stuff like that. Very funny guy. And this was the video he just dropped yesterday or the day before. He just dropped this for a little response for Dave and his back and forth with Kirk about whether you can make jokes about Jewish people. Adam's going to love this. Have you seen this yet, Adam?
Nope.
All right. Well, get ready to react.
Don't tell me to shut up. Don't tell me.
Shut the fuck up, you bald fuck. Oh, big boss man, don't tell. I'll tell you, you work for me.
Okay, go ahead.
You
Continue.
little bitch. You work for me.
Continue. Sure. I bet. For now.
Oh, you
Continue.
don't?
Okay.
You're
Continue.
literally saying people should be allowed to make Jew jokes, say whatever they want. Right the fuck now.
Yes, I think people should be allowed to make jokes.
So how many motherfucking Jews have to be killed before you stop?
Hey, you could joke about death, you could joke about rape, you could joke about Indians or dead babies, laughing at whatever the fuck that you wanna. Only one thing is sacred, that's Davy. Don't joke about Jews, nah. Don't joke about Jews, hey. Don't joke about Jews, don't joke about Jews, don't joke about Dave. You can laugh about blacks, you can laugh about gays, you can laugh about immigrants in them cages. Joke about anything on this earth, but if it's about Jews, then you might as well save it, bitch. Don't joke about Jews, nah. Don't joke about Jews, hey. Don't joke about Jews, don't joke about Jews, don't joke about Jews, don't joke about David, you are a homo, retarded shlomo, dishing what you can't take. Portnoy, the Jewish stop trying to drag it. Mad at the jokes we make. El Rey's the Rente is losing his mind. Loading my Glock, got him screaming out 9. How about I tell you some jokes, Mrs. Portnoy, and you tell me what's over the line. All of you people controlling the media, changing the weather, controlling our minds. Hollywood pedophile lawyers and slum lords that would do anything for a dime. What if I said something that you ain't like? What if I called you a what if I notice somehow you make money whenever a colored man spits in a mic? What if I told you that Israel is evil and it's time to rise up and free Palestine? Or maybe all parties involved are retarded and things would be better if all of them died. Especially the children, I hate them the most. Raise up your glass, I'm proposing a toast in honor of freedom to make any joke even though there's a victim within every roast. You could joke about death, you could joke about rape.
Okay, so obviously this is extremely offensive, and that's the point, is to be like, yeah, nothing's off. This is like the South Park point. If something's off limits, everything's off limits. Yep. So you have to reel them back in and be like, you got to remember, I know there's bad things happening, but you can't end free speech over it. It's a very important tenet to being free and having liberty. This part of the song right here is he's dancing with Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein as he's dressed up in his rabbi outfit.
You could joke about Indians and dead babies, laughing at whatever the fuck that you wanna. Only one thing is sacred, that's Davey.
Yeah, there is a visual component to this that is interesting as well. So if you're listening to the show and you want to check this out, Crack Amico, the Dave Portnoy diss, I'd recommend. Some salty language in there, but I get the point. I think that Dave kind of made this happen. This is the exact end product of Dave saying you can't make jokes about Jewish people during the current situation.
Politics aside, I think the flow is undeniable.
It is. Crack Amico's good. He's good at what he does.
Unfortunately, I think Dave really undermined any argument he might have had when he had to remind them of the dynamic of being their boss.
Yes.
Does he have a heavy Adderall addiction?
That I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
Because I've seen it before, and it looks a lot like that, where you just are angry and you cannot let it go. And I get that what's happening. If anybody does any real research as to what's happening over there right now, it'll fuck you up and make you sensitive.
Yes.
I get it. But what he's doing was just about him venting. It wasn't about teaching or helping or anything. And the idea that those are his employees and he's expecting to have a rational conversation where he's going to have an open debate back and forth. You're their boss, man. It's on camera.
Yeah, I appreciated, he made a comment during one of the clips we played where he's like, I'll let you go, man. It'll save me $500,000 a year, calling out Kirk and what his salary is. And Kirk goes, are we doing a show right now, or is this real? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Good question.
Because the argument got like real personal and real shitty. We're just like, and I want to play what happened on the episode today. Mm-hmm. So earlier today, these two come back together. We all want to see like, okay, what's the aftermath of this? What are they going to say about it?
You regret last week when you said you thought it might get clipped. That's why you didn't want to say anything. Turns out you were wrong. It was barely clipped at all. It was only 70 billion fucking things.
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously really mad.
Never seen you that mad.
No, I've been mad like that.
I know, I haven't seen
Blind
it.
Mike. Blind Mike can get me into that
It's
rage.
just the Minahan world that makes you that
You
mad.
just don't yell. You just don't yell at employees like that, Dave. That's not.
I do.
That's all I was
Thank you,
doing.
Kirk, for losing it on Justin
I gave
2
you
days
one.
later.
I gave you.
So I love that Kirk, they're laughing about it now. He's like, the only time I get that mad is when Blind Mike pisses me off, which is fun. We'll get more into that in just a second.
And I love that the joke is abuse. We're abusing these people that are under us, isn't that?
I can't believe you treated the employee like that.
You too,
right?
buddy. You too.
We both
Come on,
do it.
anyway.
So Kirk goes on to say after this, he's like, dude, I don't care that you yell at me. It doesn't bother me. I have thick skin. I don't care. I wasn't upset about that. But he did think it was funny that Jason Whitlock and Des Bryant were coming to his defense on that. And I guess after they saw Kirk screaming at his employee, they weren't as on board after that. So Ryan Whitney, who hasn't talked once in all of these viral clips, poor guy.
Smart guy.
Is not a part of this at all. He explains that Dave is getting crushed online. The sentiment is very much against Dave Portnoy's idea that there should be no jokes.
It was, but even for this was like mega viral. This just went everywhere. That
Correct.
thing. Yeah, it was.
But I mean,
crazy.
I actually have never seen Dave for 2 days. Like, you were getting bludgeoned on tweets. I'm like, holy shit,
no,
is this the end of him?
Please, I get bludgeoned 24/7 now.
No. All
Yes, I do, Whit.
So Dave's going, it's nothing. Everyone's always against me all the time, which there is some reality to. He does cause controversy from time to time when there's videos of him spitting in a young girl's mouth while they're having intercourse, things like that. We'll get people talking about Dave Portnoy some. He's no stranger to this. The last clip I have on here is fascinating. So I mentioned that tweet response from Michelangelo. So Michelangelo used to work for Barstool. He was part of a group of people who were laid off. And he's been taking shots at Portnoy since then. And so that's what he's talking about at the beginning of this clip. And then listen to where it goes to. Good friend of the show here.
He was so bad he couldn't even edit the rundown. I had to fire him from the rundown. But I didn't fire him for the company because you really have to stink to do that. But he just whines. For 3 years. I don't know how long he hasn't worked here. But he's one of those guys, a little blind Mike-ish. He'll
Absolutely.
pipe up, say something, and then he'll be like, "Why you get?"
Watch Kirk here, because Kirk is just taking Dave's side against Blind Mike the whole time, and it's very funny. It's very tongue-in-cheek, but I don't think Dave feels that way. But I know what Kirk's doing here.
Mad at me? Like,
Mike,
what did I do? It's
and
like,
Mike's been killing you on this. Like, who's the old Dave
sure, I
Portnoy?
haven't
No
seen
free
it.
speech. Like,
I haven't
it's
seen
been bad.
it. Thank
Bad.
God. I try to avoid it because I know, like, Blind Mike's one of those rare individuals. I hate him so much.
I hear
Just
you.
the thought of him triggers me. Just thinking about it when he was sitting in Milton with that magnifying glass because he can't see the computer, working, literally getting like, hey, can you do this thing? It takes him all day because he can't see. And being like so bad at his job that he couldn't work here, not because he's blind, because he sucks. And then he's always lobbing grenades and then being like, woe is me.
Yeah.
He just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been bad.
I love that they come back. They're like, let's talk about this viral moment we had and all the backlash you're getting. And it turns into Dave ripping on Blind Mike for 60 seconds straight. So I did reach out to Mike to get him on the show today to hear his thoughts on this. He couldn't make it tonight, but he will be doing a full rundown on the Blind Mike Project this Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern. So check that out. It's always great. And thanks to Turbo7049 for giving me a heads up that Blind Mike got brought up on the show today. So I went and checked that out. The Dave Blind Mike thing is very funny to me because Alex Stein, when I was over on his show, was like, oh, talking to me about Blind Mike. I'm like, oh yeah, Blind Mike's great. But Alex's whole angle was, can you get him to connect me and Dave Portnoy? Because Dave Portnoy's mad at me and I want to make up with him. And I'm like, well, Blind Mike can't help you there, man. Dave hates Blind Mike. And you saw it right there.
It really undermines his argument about the larger issues when the two things that trigger him are Israel and Blind Mike.
Yeah. It's a good point. Both of those things really piss him off. And that Michelangelo guy, too.
But he's totally chill when those things aren't brought up, right?
Well, when he's got a slice of pizza, he's fine.
Who are these